The UNSS Curiosity drifted through the silent black, its hull scarred from years of skirting the edges of known space. Captain Elias Voss leaned over the command console, his fingers drumming an impatient rhythm against the screen. Anything? Lieutenant Mirachin adjusted her headset, frowning. Just cosmic noise, sir. Unless you count the usual background radiation as a hello from the universe. Behind them, Dr. Rajan Kaur chuckled, his dark eyes scanning the sensor feed. Patience, Captain. First contact isn't exactly a scheduled appointment. Voss exhaled sharply. The Curiosity wasn't a warship, just a glorified scout vessel with a skeleton crew and outdated tech. But if they could find something, anything, out here in the uncharted void, Earth's fading interest in deep space exploration might reignite. Then the alarms blared. Chen's hands flew across her console. Contact. Bearing 274 by 38. Small object. Artificial signature. No engines, no signals. Just floating. Voss straightened. Bring us in. Let's get visual. The object was a smooth, obsidian black sphere, barely larger than a human torso, its surface etched with intricate, spiraling grooves. It didn't react to their scans. Didn't react to anything. Kaur's breath hitched. That's not one of ours. Voss grinned. Finally, something interesting. They hauled it into the cargo bay with cautious reverence. Kaur ran every scan he could think of. No radiation, no energy spikes, no obvious mechanisms. Just cold, inert metal. Chen crossed her arms. So it's a paperweight from outer space. Kaur ignored her, tracing a finger along the grooves. These markings, they're deliberate, structured, maybe language. Voss clapped him on the shoulder. Then figure out, document. That's why you're here. Kaur's hands trembled as he activated a low-powered laser, sweeping it across the sphere's surface. Just a test. Just curiosity. The sphere reacted. A pulse of blue light shot through the grooves, racing in fractal patterns until the entire thing glowed like a captured star. The ship's systems flickered. A deep, resonant hum vibrated through the deck plates. Then silence. Voss's grin vanished. What the hell did you just do? Kaur paled. I don't know. Chen's console lit up like a supernova. Captain, incoming signal. No, not a signal. A broadcast. Tight beam, directed right at us. And it's repeating. A voice boomed to the ship's speakers, guttural and sharp, like stones grinding together. The words were unintelligible, but the tone was unmistakable. A challenge. A warning. Then the proximity alert screamed. Voss whirled to the viewport just as 3 massive ships blinked into existence off their starboard bow. Jagged, angular vessels bristling with weapon ports. Their hulls gleamed like burnished bronze under the distant starlight. Those aren't ours either, Chen whispered. A new voice crackled over the comm, heavily accented but chillingly clear. Human vessel, you have invoked the right of Karza. By touching the sacred beacon, you have declared war upon the Zorati Dominion. Kaur's knees buckled. Oh, God, it's a war beacon. Voss's mind raced. Tell them it was a mistake. We didn't know. The lead ship's weapons flared to life. Ignorance is no excuse. The rights are clear. You have chosen battle. Now you will die in it. The transmission cut. The Zorati ships advanced. Voss slammed his fist on the comm. All hands, brace for evasive. Chun, get us the hell out of here. The Curiosity lurched as engines roared to full burn. Behind them, the Zorati opened fire. And just like that, the war began. The Curiosity shuddered as a plasma round grazed its aft shields, sending sparks erupting from the ceiling panels. Captain Voss gripped the armrest of his chair, his knuckles white. Chun, status. Shields at 42%, she snapped, fingers dancing across the NAV console. They're faster than us, sir. A lot faster. Another impact rocked the ship. Dr. Kaur stumbled into the command deck, his face ashen. I've been analyzing their language. That broadcast wasn't just a warning. It was a ceremonial declaration. To them, this is an attack. It's a duel. Voss swore. Tell them we forfeit. Kaur shook his head. There's no word for forfeit in the snippets I've decoded. just variations of fight, honor, and die well. A proximity alert blared. Chen's voice tightened. They're closing for another pass, this time with kinetics. Voss made a decision. Evasive pattern Delta 7. And someone tell engineering to prep the jump drive. Chen's head whipped toward him. Sir, we're inside the gravity well of... I know. His voice was a blade. Do it. The Curiosity banked hard, its aging frame groaning in protest. The Zorati ships mirrored the maneuver with terrifying precision, their angular hulls slicing through the void like knives. Then the universe tore open. The unscheduled jump flung them sideways through space-time, alarms howling as the ship's systems overloaded. When the artificial gravity finally stabilized, the bridge was a wreck of flickering lights and smoke. Kor coughed. Did we lose them? Chen checked the scanners. For now, but we're off the charts. No NAV data, no beacons. And the jump drive's fried. She hesitated. Also, we're leaking oxygen. Voss rubbed his temples. Priorities. Patch the hull, get me a location, and someone find a way to tell those bastards we didn't mean to pick a fight. In the ship's cramped med bay, Kor played the Zorati transmission again, the alien words grinding through the speakers. On his third listen, he froze. There's a pattern, he muttered. He cross-referenced the audio with his decryption software, then bolted for the bridge. Voss was arguing with Chun when Kor burst in. They're not just warriors, they're poets, he panted. Their language is built on meter, repetition. That broadcast? It's a verse, and I think I can reply in kind. Chun blinked. You're saying we need to rhyme our way out of this? Kor's smile was grim. I'm saying their whole concept of war is ritual. If we answer properly, they might have to listen. Another alert cut through the air. Chen's screen lit up with fresh contacts. Too late. They found us. The Zorati ships dropped out of FTL in perfect formation, their weapon ports glowing. Voss looked at Kor. You got one shot, Doctor. Make it good. Kor opened the comm, took a breath, and spoke. The bridge held its breath as the alien ships paused. Then, impossibly, the lead vessel responded, this time in halting, heavily accented English. Human, you speak the old tongue. A pause. This changes nothing. The Zorati opened fire. The Curiosity S-hull screamed under barrage, its shields flaring crimson before failing entirely. Captain Voss tasted blood. He'd bitten through his lip. Return fire. Aim for their engines. Chen's hands flew across the weapons console. With what? Our pulse cannons are. A direct hit rocked the ship, cutting her off. Sparks rained from the ceiling as the lights flickered. Kor clutched his datapad, the Zorati's last words echoing in his skull. This changes nothing. But it had changed something. They'd responded in English. That meant communication was possible. He lunged to the comm. Captain, let me try again. If I can just... Another impact threw him to the deck. Voss grabbed his arm, hauling him up. They're not here to talk, Kor. They're here to erase us. Outside the viewport, the lead Zorati ship loomed, its weapon ports glowing brighter as it charged another volley. Then the universe exploded. A blinding streak of plasma tore through the black, slamming into the Zorati vessel's flank. The alien ship listed violently, its hull rupturing in a geyser of molten metal. Voss gaped. What the hell? 3 sleek Terran destroyers dropped out of FTL, their railguns already cycling for another shot. The comm crackled. Asterisk UNSS Curiosity asterisk. This is Captain Hale of the Titan's Fist. You're relieved. Chun hooped. They got our distress call. Kor didn't celebrate. On the view screen, the remaining Zorati ships were regrouping, their formations shifting into something tighter, deadlier. This wasn't over. He grabbed the comm. Captain Hale. Don't engage. They think this is a ritual. If we keep fighting, they'll call in their entire fleet. Static hissed. Then Hale's skeptical voice. You expect us to stand down? Voss locked eyes with Kor. You have a better idea? Kor exhaled. I need full access to Curiosity SCOM array. And someone get me a direct line to Earth's Xenolinguistics database. The Zorati attacked in waves. their ships darting like predators. The Terran destroyers held the line, but barely. One already listed, its engines dark. On the Curiosity S-Bridge. Kor worked furiously, stitching together phrases from the Zorati's own broadcasts, layering them with human cadence. It wasn't just words. It was structure, rhythm. Chun watched over his shoulder. "You're composing?" "An answer," Kor muttered. "One they'll have to honor." He played it once, grimaced, then tweaked the inflection. The Zorati language didn't just convey meaning. It demanded it. A mistimed syllable could turn a plea into an insult. Another destroyer took a hit. Hale's voice was strained. "We can't hold much longer." Kor slammed the transmit button. The broadcast roared across every frequency, a crashing wave of guttural vowels and percussive consonants. Even untranslated, it felt like something ancient, a challenge, a confession, a reckoning. Silence. Then, impossibly, the Zorati ships disengaged. The comm crackled. A new voice, deeper, rougher, spoke. "Human, you recite the rite of ceasefire with acceptable fluency." A pause. "We will hear your words." Voss sagged into his chair. Chun let out a shaky laugh. Kor leaned into the mic. "We never wanted war. We revere your traditions. But if you seek battle, know this. Humanity does not fight with blades alone. We fight with voice, with thought." He hesitated. "And we would rather fight beside you than against you." A longer pause. Then, slowly, the lead Zorati ship powered down its weapons. "Your words have weight. We will consider them." The transmission ended. The Zorati retreated. Hale's voice broke the silence. "Did you just talk them into leaving?" Kor wiped sweat from his brow. "No, I talked them into listening." Outside the viewport, the stars burned cold and bright. Somewhere out there, an empire was reconsidering humanity, and that was victory enough. The bridge of the UNSS Curiosity was silent, except for the steady beep of damaged systems rebooting. Captain Voss exhaled slowly, his fingers still gripping the armrest of his command chair, as if the Zorati might return any second. The weight of the last hour pressed down on him. Relief and disbelief tangled in his chest. Chun broke the silence first. "They actually left." She turned to Kor, her usual sarcasm softened by something like awe. "You negotiated with them." Kor wiped sweat from his forehead, his hands trembling slightly. "Not negotiated. Spoke their language. Literally." He tapped his datapad, where the last of the Zorati transmissions still flickered. "They don't see war the way we do. To them, it's not just destruction, it's art. And we just performed it correctly." Voss stood, his knees protesting. "So what now?" "They consider our words, and we wait to see if they change their minds and blow us to dust." Before Kor could answer, the comm crackled. Captain Hale's voice cut through, sharp with urgency. Curiosity, we've got a problem." The Zorati didn't just retreat, they're rallying. Long-range scans show at least a dozen new signatures inbound. Chen's fingers flew over her console. Confirmed. They're holding position at the edge of the system. But, Captain, they're broadcasting. A new transmission flooded the speakers. Deeper, richer, layered with harmonics that made the ship's bulkheads vibrate. Kor's breath caught. That's not a war chant. That's a summons. Voss clenched his jaw. "For what?" Kor's voice dropped. "For us." The Zorati fleet hung in the void like a gathering storm, their angular ships arranged in a precise formation that felt less like a blockade and more like air reception. Hale's image flickered on the view screen, her face tight. "We're outgunned 10-1. If they attack." "They won't," Kor interrupted. "Not unless we insult them again." He turned to Voss. "They want us to go to them, to speak." Voss studied the fleet on the screen. "You're sure about this?" Kor met his gaze. "No, but it's the only move we've got." The shuttle ride to the lead Zorati vessel was the longest 20 minutes of Kor's life. Voss piloted, his hands steady on the controls, while Chun monitored comms and Kor rehearsed phrases under his breath. The Zorati ship dwarfed their shuttle, its hull etched with the same spiraling patterns as the beacon. A docking bay yawned open, swallowing them whole. The air inside was thick with the scent of something like burnt copper. Zorati warriors lined the corridor, towering, armored, their 4 eyes unblinking as the humans were escorted to a cavernous chamber. At its center stood a figure broader than the others, his armor adorned with jagged sigils. The warlord. Kor stepped forward before Voss could stop him. He pressed a fist to his chest, the closest gesture he had to a Zorati salute, and spoke. The warlord listened. Then, shockingly, he laughed, a sound like grinding stone. You are bold, human, foolish but bold. He leaned closer. You recite the ceasefire rite, yet you do not understand it. It is not surrender. It is strategy. Kor's pulse pounded. Then let us learn. The warlord straightened. Perhaps you will. He turned, his cloak sweeping behind him. Come, we have much to discuss. Voss exhaled. Chin muttered. Well, that went better than expected. Kor didn't relax, because the warlord hadn't said peace. He'd said asterisk discuss. The warlord's chamber was a vault of shadows and flickering holograms, the air thick with the metallic tang of Zorati breath. Kor kept his spine straight, his borrowed translator humming against his wrist as the warlord, Karath the Unbroken, as he'd named himself, circled him like a predator assessing prey. You speak our words, Karath rumbled, but words are wind. What do you offer? Voss stepped forward before Kor could speak. An end to unnecessary bloodshed. We didn't seek conflict. Karath's 4 eyes narrowed. Yet you triggered the right of Karza. Ignorance does not erase consequence. His clawed fingers flexed. But neither does it preclude adaptation. Chun, hovering near the door with her hand resting on her sidearm, muttered, That doesn't sound like a let's be friends speech. Kor ignored her. What adaptation do you propose? Karath stopped his pacing. A trial. The word landed like a stone. Voss crossed his arms. What kind of trial? Karath's mouth split into something resembling a smile. One of worth. You claim humanity has value beyond warfare? Prove it. He gestured, and the hologram flared to life. A star map with a single planet pulsing red. The Icthri, our ancient enemies. They raid our borders, poison our worlds. Eradicate them, and the Dominion will consider your accidental war declaration void. Kor's stomach dropped. You want us to commit genocide for you? Karath's laugh was a low, grating sound. No, we want you to fail. The Icthri are insects, but their sting is lethal. He leaned in. Refuse, and the war resumes. Accept, and you may yet live long enough to learn from your mistakes. Silence. Voss exhaled through his nose. We'll need time to discuss. Karath waved a clawed hand. You have until night cycle. Then I will have your answer. Back aboard the Curiosity, Chin slammed her palm against the bulkhead. This is a trap. They're sending us to die. Kerr scrolled to the Icthri files Karath had provided. Limited intel, deliberately vague. Not necessarily. He said eradicate, not destroy. There's room for interpretation. Voss rubbed his temples. Even if we could take on the Icthri, becoming the Zorati's attack dogs isn't a win. Kor looked up. Unless we redefine the mission. Chun frowned. Meaning, Karath wants proof of our worth. Fine, but worth isn't just about killing. It's about strategy. Leverage. He tapped the screen. What if we don't fight the Icthri? What if we ally with them? Voss went still. Against the Zorati, Kor met his gaze. They're not asking for genocide. They're asking for solution. Chun whistled. That's either brilliant or suicidal. Voss stared at the star map. Either way, it's our only play. When they returned to Karath's chamber, the warlord seemed almost amused. Your answer? Voss didn't hesitate. We accept, but we do this our way. Karath's eyes gleamed. Oh, little human, I would expect nothing less.